Hello folks, and welcome to Monday's edition of MSN. Do I still need to put that up there? You all know MSN equals Magoo Sports News. Fantastic. Well, I hate Mondays as much as you guys, so basically I thought I'd cheer you up by doing this. Giggity. Oh, where's my manners? I do apologise. For my female viewers, I have got something for you. So enough of that. Let's get on to the sporting action, and there was absolutely loads of sport on this weekend, lots of action to tell you about, so let's get on with it. So what were the headlines? Manchester United beating Chelsea 2-1. This was the big game, the title decider. Essentially all but means that Manchester United have now won the league. In fact, if they don't win the league, I'll do my show in a pink fairy dress. Yeah, right. So anyway, the game itself was pretty much controlled by Manchester United throughout. Once they got that early goal, it just seemed to shell-shock Chelsea. They didn't get into the game realistically into the second half. Especially, I mean, Manchester United got that second goal in the 23rd minute. That was all but game over. You're not going to score 3 goals against Manchester United, especially with their home record this season. So, what does that mean? Will Ancelotti get sacked in the summer? Will Ferguson stay on next year? Personally, I think if Ferguson wins the Champions League, he may step down. Watch this space. The other important results in the Premier League were as follows. Arsenal's Jekyll and Hyde season seemed to continue. One week they beat Manchester United, the next week they can't even beat Stoke. No disrespect to Stoke, but, you know, Arsenal should be beating teams like that. This all but ends their slim hopes of winning the title, which, to be fair, we all kind of knew they weren't going to do anyway. Wolves took a huge step towards survival. They won 3-1 against West Brom and move out of the relegation zone. 2 games to go. Can they survive? Basically, West Ham looked doomed. As I said, they couldn't get the 3 points against Blackburn. It finished 1-1. In fact, they were lucky to get a point because they were 1-0 down. 90th minute, they managed to scrape a point, but that's them down. Man City, even though they lost 2-1 to Everton, they're still in that Champions League place because only Spurs could only manage a draw against Wigan. So it's not looking good for the old Spurs. So basically that's, in my opinion, the top of the league all sorted. Maybe a little to and fro in between Arsenal, Chelsea and Man City for that 2nd, 3rd, 4th space. But the bottom half of the table is very interesting. 6 teams it's down to now. You would all but think Aston Villa are effectively safe. But these 6 teams have got huge games coming up. Who's going to go down? We'll just have to wait and see. So, moving on into the Championship. Basically, the Championship's last games were all played at 12:45 on Saturday, and literally 1 hour before the games, QPR found out that they wouldn't be getting a points deduction. Very controversial, but I'll talk about that later in my show. So the Championship finishes with QPR as champions and Norwich getting promoted as well. The best part about the Championship though is the playoffs. It's going to be Swansea versus Nottingham Forest and Cardiff versus Reading for the playoffs. Watch out for those, they're coming up in a couple of weeks. Now, if I had to guess who's going to win, to be honest with you, I don't know. It is so close this year. Every single one of those teams has got a little bit of good run of form. Cardiff are about the only team that maybe look a bit shaky because they were in 2nd place but dropped down into 4th. If I had to guess, I'd say Nottingham Forest. Don't put your money on them though, because they may not go up. So moving on into the SPL, it's honours even with Rangers and Celtic. They're still a point apart. Rangers leading the way. 2 games left. They both play midweek and then this weekend. Who's going to win it? I think it's going to be Rangers. I think they'll win both their games. It's looking like that. Also, I have to mention that Inverness Cali Thistle. Oh, not that again. We basically beat St Mirren 1-0 and move up to 47 points, which is more points than a place above us. So I don't know how that works. It's the stupid SPL system, but never mind. So in another sport over the weekend, basically in the tennis, Novak Djokovic beat Rafa Nadal on clay. I mean, Rafa Nadal is like the clay court king. He's set records all over the place on clay. Novak Djokovic is on an amazing run of form. He has not lost a match this year. So he won the Madrid Masters, and we're going into the French Open, which is the 2nd major of the year, so maybe he even can win that. Boxing, Manny Pacquiao had a fight against Shane Mosley. As I predicted, it was a pretty dull fight. Shane Mosley just was very defensive. He got booed from the crowd because all he wanted to do was get in there, get his huge paycheck, and get out of there. So the only thing that we really want to see Manny Pacquiao do now is fight Floyd Mayweather Jr. I don't think it's going to happen because I think Manny Pacquiao is actually scared of losing his so-called great record. So into the Formula 1, not surprising, Sebastian Vettel won the Grand Prix. He's now miles ahead of second place. Mark Webber came second. That's Red Bull 1 and 2. I don't think anyone's going to catch the Red Bulls. To be honest with you, you could probably not watch the end of the rest of the season because it's just going to be Sebastian Vettel winning. Into the golf, and South African Thomas Aitken won the Madrid Open. Basically, in the USPGA, the Wells Fargo Championship, this was a great final round. Like I said to you, watch the last 9 holes of the golf tournament. Sometimes it's hit, sometimes it's missed, but this one was a hit. Going into the last hole, which is the hardest hole on the whole course, everyone's scoring bogeys all over the place, but Jonathan Bird needed a birdie to level things up. Now, he got the birdie and went into a playoff with a guy called Lucas Glover. And Lucas Glover won a major a couple of years ago, but has had a rotten luck since then. Hasn't won anything, hasn't been even coming close, but then he gets into this tournament, pulls off an amazing few rounds of golf, wins in the playoff, absolutely fantastic. So into Rugby League, and there was big news in the draw for the Challenge Cup 5th round. Now, the Challenge Cup to football fans is the equivalent of the FA Cup. Basically, there was a massive local rivalry drawn together. Wakefield are going to be playing Castleford. Now, it's probably best that women of both towns actually leave that weekend because we all know what happens when a Yorkshireman's rugby team loses. I think the right to vote will be the least of your worries if your man's team loses. So let's take a look, folks, at what sport we've got coming up this week. There's not a hell of a lot. First and foremost, tonight we've got the Liverpool-Fulham game at Craven Cottage. This will be an interesting game because, again, it doesn't really mean much for the league, but it will give us an indication of how good Liverpool will be next season. Fulham have got an absolutely outstanding defence, and if Liverpool can go there and get a good result, 2 or 3-0, then we'll know they're going to be title contenders. Also, we've got a few SPL games on Tuesday night and Wednesday night. More importantly, it's Rangers are playing someone and Celtic are playing someone. It's the only games that really matter. Also, the golf. Now, this is my favourite tournament of the year. If you had to watch one golf tournament in a year, this is it. It's the TPC at Sawgrass. This is an amazing event. Now, the players consider it the 5th major. There's more money in this tournament than any other tournament in the world. Not only that, the golf player that wins it gets exemptions to play in the USPGA Tour for 5 years. He gets to play in all the majors for 2 years, and he gets to play in the US Open for 5 years. The exemptions are part of the package, so it's such an important tournament for them to win. The second thing about this tournament is that it's got the 17th hole, which is basically an island. Check it out. I would love to play this course, and watching it on the telly, I mean, seeing the players under that amount of pressure is just fantastic. It starts on Thursday, folks. Put that on your calendar. It's 6 o'clock at night. Watch that tournament. So moving on to my viewer comments section, this actually corresponds a little bit to what I was going to talk about earlier on within regards to QPR. Now, the viewer comment comes from a gentleman called Bang, and he says, will QPR spend big, or will they poach from the weak? He also said that he's very happy that they got promoted and they were lucky to escape a points deduction. So will they spend big? My personal opinion, I think they will. QPR are actually owned by a couple of gentlemen called Flavio Briatore and Bernie Eccleston. Now, if you don't know who these guys are, they are the Formula 1 gurus and their pockets are loaded. So when they took over the club, I think they were a bit nervous about spending money whilst they were in the Championship, but now they've got into the Premiership, all the riches and all the money that comes with that. I think they'll be able to go out and spend about 30, maybe 40 million pounds, get a good team together, and they'll stay up. Another point I want to mention as well is that for QPR, it's a little bit easier for these guys because they're a London club. Attracting the good foreign players is a lot easier. Would you not prefer to live in London if you're a foreign guy, or would you prefer to go up to Newcastle, for example, and deal with the rain? Going back to a user comment on Friday from Bang. He basically told me to mention London Scottish Rugby Union team. They had a game over the weekend. It was a title decider, first versus second, and they won. So just wanted to say congratulations to London Scottish. You're in the championship. Go forth and maybe try and get to the Aviva Premiership. So that's essentially all I've got time for today, folks. It truly was a fantastic weekend of sport. Don't forget, if you've got any interesting comments that you'd like me to mention in my next show, then leave them in the comment section below. My name is Magoo, and I'm off to cast my vote before the Castleford Wakefield game. Thanks for watching, guys. See you on Friday.